Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Season 1, Episode 9. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, y'all, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. When the episode first opens up, they are still at the couple's getaway. Anthony and Brandon still facing off. Aunt getting all close, talking about, I don't have an issue with you, Brandon. If I had an issue with you, I have no problem saying I have an issue with you. Anthony, please. Okay, please stop lying. You and your wife like to lie as well. Okay, it's becoming abundantly clear to me. You don't like him. Okay, so stop lying, acting like you don't have a problem with him when you do. So after all that, Brandon's like, well, I think about Lyrique being involved in the showcase. You don't want Lyrique there. Let me just say something real quick. Okay, because this is really starting to get on my central nervous system, and I hope y'all only got one episode left. Stop lying, everybody. Kobe, you don't like Christina. Christina, you don't like Kobe, and you don't like Latoya. Latoya, you don't like Christina. Brandon, you don't like Anthony. Anthony, you don't like Brandon or Christina. Russell, you don't like none of them. Okay? And on some days, Kobe get on your nerves. Okay, now that we have that out the way, because y'all are getting on my nerves, everybody pretending to like each other. One thing I can respect about Huntsville, as much as they have worked my central nervous system, when they don't like each other, it's abundantly clear that they don't like each other, and you will not be down to the event if they don't like you. You won't go to the expo. You won't go to none of that. Oh my goodness. Mel gonna make a song about you. I think you're so uncool. I think you're acting a fool, and all my friends be roasting you. Shout out to Melody. Destiny gonna be, turn me up, will you want another level? Honey, they gonna let you know that they don't like you. Okay, they gonna let you know. Destiny was getting in Tiffany face. Tiffany was getting in Destiny face over on DC. Okay, Winter and Ashley were not the best of friends. They tried at the Shut Up and Get Along brunch or whatever it was, child. I don't know what it was. It was something like Shut Up and Drive. Ashley put together something like, hey girl, shut the hell up. It was some kind of event. But her and Winter did not like each other. They tried. And then they are now building this frenemy ship. Honey, I don't know what they're building because we still waiting on them to come back from hiatus. But Arena, Winter, and Ashley let it be known that they didn't like each other. Joy let it be known, kinda, because she one of those Eva types. It's like she'll act like she like you in your face, but she really don't. Then she'll say something, then act like she don't know what she said. But the bottom line is, this cast right here will say everything's cool, we're fine, nothing gonna stop making me be your friend, and then get in a confessional and it's something totally different. Anthony, you know you don't like Brandon. Brandon, you know you don't want Lyrique down to the Star Factory showcase. Say that. Now that is here and there, and it's also a side note moving forward. Meanwhile, back on the boat, the ladies are actually getting along. Another side note. Okay, y'all know I gotta throw the side notes in there. I did not realize how irritating Colby's voice was. I just did not realize. Baby is so whiny, honey. Oh, all of them just have the most annoying. And I don't even like the sound of my own voice. So I ain't saying no shade, but shade. I don't like that voice. I really don't. So they rejoin the men, and child, good thing that they were outside because the tension was thick and you could cut it with a knife. They get back to the house to get ready to go to dinner. So Christina and Brandon are in there talking about the day. And so Christina tells him, you know, she sat right next to Latoya to let her know, girl, it ain't no beef. Like, you got beef with me, but I really ain't got no beef with you. So she's asking Brandon what happened with the men. Like, I saw y'all were playing football. So, I mean, y'all were playing football. What happened? Girl, just say what y'all was talking about. So he tells her it went how it always goes, especially when it comes to Anthony. He feels like Anthony has a target on his back, and does. He's like, yeah, you know, he wanted your boy to come on as a judge. You know your boy. So Christina is like, and who is my boy? It really irritates me when people do that. Just say the person's name. He wanted Lyrique to come, and you know I don't mess with Lyrique. Just say that. He wanted your boy to come. And your boy, I'm like, oh my goodness. So she tells us in the confessional that she met Sean, okay, before she even moved to Detroit. She's like, look, I met him as Sean. His mama named him Sean. And that's what I'm going to call him. Honey, she hit us with his mama named him Sean. I'm going to call him Sean. His mama named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. Honey, she said, look, I know him as Sean. I don't know nothing about no Lyrique. She said they met before she even moved to Detroit and got with Brandon. He was her producer before it all went down. Then he started to like her a little bit. He started giving a little weirdo. And she was like, I gotta go. Okay. I had to let that relationship fall by the wayside because it was just getting creepy. Girl, and he still like you to this day. The way he pulled up that song real quick. I said, do you be listening to that song to fall asleep? Because, baby, the way you pulled that song up. Anywho. So it's the last night. They hired a chef to come cook them dinner. They all sit down. In the confessional, LaToya was like, I hope that we can get through it without any drama. Here go Anthony. You know, a little drama is funny. Who in their right mind thinks that drama is funny? Notice I said in their right mind. Okay. So at the dinner, Christina brings out this situation game. So the first situation that they pull out is, how do husbands want their wives to initiate sex? Was that a part of the game? I don't think they understood what the premise of the game was. The premise of the game is to bring up situations that you guys need to fix within the group. What is this? I bet Anthony wrote that question. Moving forward. So they basically said that they want to feel wanted just like the women feel wanted. And just pull it out, whip it out, get into it if you're going to get into it. So they talked for like 5 minutes and Russell was like, whoa, well, I hate to eat and run, but I'm sleepy. And child, these people so boring. Carlos Kane, while you over there sitting down with Kenya Summermore, reminiscing for old time's sake. You need to get over here and see what's going on down at Detroit. What up, though? Okay, not a damn thing. Because Russell is going to sleep. Why are you turning in right now on the trip? What kind of trip is this, honey? Baby, what is this, honey? Oh, this is so boring, child. I was in tears almost. Do you hear me? I was like, oh, child, what is this, child? Shout out to Nene. So the ladies go and sit out by the bonfire while Russell goes in there and get his beauty rest. So Christina wants to talk to LaToya so they can move forward. Because she's like, girl, I don't really just dislike you. Like, what is the issue? Let's just talk about it. So she asked LaToya, did she do anything to her to offend her and to make her think that she's just really a bad person? So LaToya was like, well, you know, from what I've witnessed with you and Colby, all I saw was that you didn't reach out to her, you know, as her big sis. And I want to know what was behind that. Like, why did you do that? Girl, just say I saw how you were moving with her and I thought eventually you might move that way with me. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about in the first beginning of the review. Just say it. State it plain. Just say, well, girl, I was looking at how you move with her and I'm thinking, dang, if you move with her that way, you might move with me that way one day. Just say that. So Christina is in the confessional and she feels like LaToya is judging her when it's not even things that are involving LaToya. And if she wanted to be all sisterly like she claims, then she would have addressed things as they happened and not waited until now. Now, Christina, I'm with you when you're right. And I agree. She just took on Colby's fight and now Colby is over it and you still mad. For what? And if you wanted to be friends, you should have talked to her by yourself. You should have called up Christina and said, Christina, girl, what went down at the skating rink, I didn't think that was cool. Why y'all acting like that? I don't like that. And you know, I consider you a friend. So I think you should reach out to Colby or we should all get together. I can orchestrate it. I can get everything together and we can all sit down and talk. But not you just getting mad on behalf of Colby and never speaking to her again. Girl, goodbye. Moving forward. So Colby was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and move forward and not hold anything, you know, against anyone. So Christina said, okay, well, as far as LaToya, I'm just going to let whatever happens, happens. And I'm going to let bygones be bygones. I mean, I feel like we can move on. LaToya talking about, you know, I can move on when Christina is real and says what she wants out of our relationship. Well, ma'am, the same could be said for you. The same could be said because you are being fake in this scene, playing with your hair, acting like everything is cool when deep down you don't like her. LaToya, you and Aunt are getting on my nerves. Okay? You are not the judge and jury. You are getting on my nerves. Did I repeat that she was getting on my nerves? Because she's getting on my nerves. It's giving pretentious. Get it together. In the next scene, Bravo is at the lounge that he owns, and Anthony stops by to talk to him about adding another speaker to the men's movement. Well, I'm saying men's movement, but they're saying man's movement. Now, I don't know who came up with that, okay, but it's men's movement. not the man's movement. That's like I hate when people say, I'm a strong woman. You're a strong woman, implying singular. You're one woman. Women would be plural. There is more than one woman. So you would say women. I cannot stand that. Is a pet peeve of mine. Moving forward. Anywho, down at the man's movement, Bravo is like, yeah, you know, the guy that I'm going to introduce you to be a speaker. He's from the Metro Detroit area, has his own business. I mean, you may have heard of him. Marsau Scott, Johnny Bravo. Sir, cut it out. Cut it out. You know, Anthony probably done stalked that man's Instagram, especially when he found out that they were going to be a part of the same franchise. Now, you know, he know Marsau Scott. Come on now, keep it real. The way they ushered in Marsau, when I tell y'all I hollered when that black GMC pulled into that parking spot and Marsau hopped out like he was a celebrity. When I tell y'all I cackled so loud because I have not watched this season of Huntsville. I think I watched, well, I don't know. I think it's off, but I think I watched maybe 1.5 episodes. And when I tell you, when I saw Marsau jump out that GMC, baby, I hollered. I said, look at that damn Marsau. Marsau think he is a real celebrity, honey. Ooh, child. So he comes on in, honey, because the red carpet has been rolled out for Mr. Black. He comes in. Bravo was telling Marsau that Anthony has great reach, honey. He ain't reach nobody with that man's movement. Anthony is telling him that they want to help men, you know, get out and vote and help young men get placement with entrepreneurs such as himself, you know, maybe doing internships, and they can train them to be business owners like they are one day, right? Now, as I was listening to Anthony tell Marsau this, all I could think about was, now, I don't know about Bravo, but somebody had to teach Marsau. Okay, they really did. Y'all remember when he first opened up Black with no general manager or staff? And he had Kimmy's son going in between the management, the bartender, the cook, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, baby. He was doing everything. And I do mean everything. It was hanging in the balance. I mean, it might be better now, but Charlie was a fool back then. So Marsau listened to it and all that, you know, listen to him speak his speech. And he thinks it's a good look. He's like, yeah, I'll speak at the man's movement. Marsau, did you charge him? Because, honey, you know how you like to do. In the next scene, Brandon goes to visit his mom. Now, this scene put everything into perspective for me. Brandon goes to visit his mama because she always makes his favorite cake on his birthday, a cherry chip cake. Now, I have never heard of that before in my life. But apparently it's Brandon's favorite and his mom has made it. He said they don't have the best relationship. They don't really communicate. They barely talk. So she's like, don't eat the cake yet. Read your card. So he reads this card and she called him her favorite oldest son and said that she loved him. And when he read it, he seemed kind of shocked. Like, not you saying you love me. Like, he was really shocked. So she was like, well, I mean, you don't doubt that I love you, right? He said, nah, I know you love me, but you have just never said it. People really underestimate the power and impact of telling your kids that you love them. Those are things that you really need to say to your child. I think I have heard from my mom maybe twice that she loves me. She does not say I love you. I have never heard that. And I have never, ever, 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 ever heard that from my daddy. It really messes a kid up and it makes them wonder if they're enough. You need to tell your kids you love them. Okay, and if you're listening to this right now and it's not your thing, make it your thing. Make it a habit. Let it be uncomfortable until it becomes normal and natural. Because although I didn't get that, I tell my son I love him all the time. But, you know, these kids, they need to hear that. Because look at Brandon. He is visibly broken because his mom didn't tell him that she loved him when he was growing up. So she said, well, you know, I did say it when you were little, but I felt like it really wasn't appropriate when you grew up. Mama say, what now? Your child never gets too old for an I love you, especially in this cruel world. You really need to make sure that you are telling your children that you love them. The way Brandon deals with conflict is all making sense now, seeing his family dynamic, seeing the relationship between he and his mother. It lets me know that it's not that he's weak sauce. He just avoids conflict because he's never had conflict resolution in his home. Look at his mama. That mama's something else, child. Anyway, he tells her that he wants them to do therapy together so they can talk more. He's like, I just feel like I don't communicate in my marriage. And Christina looks at it as I have trauma. So his mom was like, you don't feel like you have trauma, do you? He said, well, I have a lack of emotion. So some kind of way it stems from trauma. It wasn't easy growing up in the hood with a white mother. She's like, well, it wasn't easy being a white woman in the hood either. But ma'am, you chose that life for yourself. He had no choice as a kid. He couldn't tell you, we moving up out the hood. Mama, we made it. No, you chose to live in the hood as a white woman. Moving forward. His mom working my nerves, honey. She's really getting on my nerves. Not a little bit, but a lot of bit. He said he didn't feel like he belonged when he lived there. And his dad passed away. They became really close before he passed. And so he only has two parents. He wants to get closer to his mom, build a relationship with her because she's the only living parent that he has. So he's asking her how she feels about therapy. She was like, well, I don't want it to feel like it's just another thing I have to do. That was hurtful. I really felt sorry for him in that moment. I said, damn, that is hurtful. Like, why would you say that? Please unmic her, honey. Please demic her. Take the mic off. Because, child, the thing she is saying, it just don't make no sense. Not Brandon's mama getting a confessional, honey. So she gets in her confessional because it's her debut. And she was like, I like things that the way that they are. I mean, I'll go to the therapy, but I mean, it's fine. You like things the way that they are, but your son does not. She agrees to go, though. So we'll see how this goes. In the next scene, it's the day of the man's movement. It's raining cats and dogs. Honey, even the Lord said, y'all stay at the house. Y'all stay at the house, child. Anthony talking about, I'm worried about this rain. Black folk don't like to get their hair and their clothes wet. Sir, it's a men's movement. I'm sure they'll be fine. Okay? I'm sure the men will come marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah. They'll be fine. Okay? Rain ain't gonna melt none of y'all. And also another thing. Why don't black people keep umbrellas? Why we don't never have no umbrellas in the car? It be plastic bags from the Kroger. It's, a tablet or something that you got at the house. Like, why don't you have an umbrella? I have made it a point to break that generational curse. Baby, I got 5 or 6 umbrellas in that car. Do you hear me? Because them cheap umbrellas will fold the hell up. Okay? Like one of them clinics that Candace uses down at Potomac. They will fold the hell up with a strong gust of wind. And Houston good for a gust of wind with some rain. It's like rain with a side of gust of wind. So I have made sure that I have reinforced umbrellas. I have the 99-cent store umbrellas. I got the umbrellas where you just get out and go right in the house umbrellas. I got an umbrella by the door, an umbrella in the car, an umbrella under the seat. You will not catch me slipping. Okay, and Houston has somehow turned into Miami where it rains one second and then it's sunny the next. So, I mean, that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. But get yourselves an umbrella, honey. So the space that they're using is huge, but nobody's there. Anthony ain't got no chairs out for these men, no table with informational pamphlets, nothing. Okay, it's just him and Dr. LaToya standing at a podium. Absolutely nothing. So Bravo shows up. And is it just me or did Bravo kind of hit LaToya with a, hey girl, and kept it pushing? Like she reached out to hug him, but it was kind of an awkward exchange because it's like he didn't really want to hug her, but he wanted to speak. I don't know. It was just strange. I don't know if y'all caught it, but I did. So after that, and Brandon shows up. He says that Christina couldn't come. Honey, you ain't missed nothing. Russell and Colby, they show up. Why are the women at the man's movement? Why are they down to the event? Why are they there? Isn't this a men's movement? Why are they there? So Marsau comes sashaying in, child, in these shades. Sir, take them shades off. It's raining outside. Marsau has really turned Hollywood. You looked a fool. He thought he was going to come into a thunderous round of applause. Sir, take those shades off. I wear my sunglasses at night. Take those off. Baby, take them damn glasses off. The people are standing around in a circle, honey. No chairs, no refreshments, just the cast and the crew and Marsau. So everybody's just looking at each other. Side note, Anthony, Lyrique is your boy. Where is he? Okay, you want to throw Brandon by the wayside, but at least he showed up for you. Where's Lyrique? Where is Sean Lyrique? Okay. So LaToya's dad arrives, the bishop. Then miraculously, honey, the heavens have opened up and the bishop brought all the men. All these men show up at the exact same time. Carlos Kane, quit playing with me and quit playing in my face. It's giving they are being paid a day rate. Okay, now why all these men show up at the exact same time? Were y'all doing this for dramatics, or I don't know what was going on? So they get there to stand around and form a bigger circle. And now it's time to begin. So Anthony reads to them what the man's movement is. The bishop comes up to say a few words. Marsau got up there to speak his speech in riddles. Oh, child. Talking about a movement ain't something you gotta do. A movement is something you gotta be. If you want a movement, you need to go to the restroom. Marsau, get off my screen. Get off my screen and get out of my life. Sir, goodbye and good night. Boy, gone. So they get the oldest and the youngest to come up and break every chain. And I thought that was cute. I did. I really did. I was like, okay, Anthony, you're trying, child. And now it's time for the walk around the hood. That's what I'm going to call it, honey, because I don't know. It was supposed to be a mini million man march, but it was only 5 men. I don't know what was going on, but I'm going to call it the walk around the hood. The way LaToya, it's so wrong with me. The way LaToya was recording Anthony like a proud mom at her kids' dance recital was sending me. I said, baby, she loved that man, honey. I don't know why, but she was up there just recording. That's nice. Do it again. Do that little TikTok dance she liked to do, Anthony. Baby, the way she was recording him. These people nuts. So Brandon is in a confessional. He's like, what is this? Where are the signs? And we ain't got no signs. We ain't got nothing. This is not a movement. This is a mint, but it's not a move. Ain't no move happening. Even Bravo was like, I mean, we're just walking around. I've seen more organization with my daughter's plays at school. Like, what's really happening? So after they come to the end of the road, shout out to Boys to Men, Marsau shady tail talking about, well, it was awesome. I've never seen anything like it. That's man crazy. And hopefully you will never see it again, honey. He said it was good exercise, but you know, we need to level up. We need to take it to the next level. Honey, we need to get to the first level first. Child, this is a mess. Now, I have to say this. I'm giving it a hard time, but I think it has potential. I really do. I'm just joshing you, okay? I think that it has potential. It just has to be executed properly. Anthony, I know you think you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And yes, you can, okay? You and the bishop. But you need to employ some people, honey, and they may be female, okay? You need to employ some people to help you put this event together properly. This was bootleg and janky, okay? And this is not a representation of what you want your movement to be. So you need to get it together or leave it alone, honey, because I was just looking at this like, what is going on, honey? And you also need a clear mission statement. Don't listen to Colby and get you caught up, honey. You need a clear statement. So the men leave and Brandon is like, I'm still unclear as to what the movement is. So Colby's like, well, I'm clear. Okay. At first I was a little bit confused because I didn't really know Anthony that well, but it's very clear on that paper what it is. Colby, please hush. I'm trying to refrain from telling you to shut up. Please hush. I didn't know that you were a man. Okay. Wasn't nothing clear about this. Not nothing. Was he asking you or was he talking to the men? Okay. And Russell, the same way that you did not want anyone to address your wife should not be addressing him. Because what if Christina came up to Colby and told her that she was going to break every bone in her body? You wouldn't like that, would you? Colby, fall back. Okay, I was like, girl, goodbye and good night. The way Anthony came at Brandon, that's why he's being shady toward him. Anthony made it seem like I'm a big, bad CEO. I pull rank. I pull numbers. I am the city's premier everything. And you're still trying to get on my level. But what he presented today was nothing. Okay, it was embarrassing. I mean, people were there to support him. But at the same time, nothing was clear. Now, I do feel like Brandon could have kind of held out because Anthony was proud of his men's walk. So you don't want to kick a person when they down. So I would have just been like, good job, bro. Next time we got to execute it a little bit better. That's it. That's all. But the way that Anthony has been going at him about his, showcase, of course he gonna do this, girl. Anyway, in the next scene, Brandon and his mom are having therapy today. Y'all, the way in which this lady came to that door, knocked on it with her mask on, none of them hugged each other or even greeted each other at that door. It was so awkward. I was like, this is crazy. It was like they were strangers. They were all just standing at the door. I said, Christina, are you going to hug your mother-in-law? I don't think she likes Christina. I don't know what's going on. The therapist came in and Brandon hugged the therapist instead of his own mama. I said, okay, now this right here is a fool. Moving forward. So they start the session and Brandon said, you know, he and his mom have a high and by type of relationship. His mom didn't really communicate her love for him. So she was like, well, I mean, I would try to ask him questions and he wouldn't answer. He would just put his thumb in his mouth and kind of roll over. So she is blaming him as a kid on that for their non-communication. She literally stopped parenting this child at 8 years old. She told him earlier, yeah, I mean, I used to tell you I loved you, but I didn't think it meant anything when you got older. I didn't think it was appropriate. Now she's telling him, I tried to talk to you when you were like 6 and you put your thumb in your mouth, so I just gave up. Ma'am, he was a child. How can a child? Then she said, he kind of set the tone for our non-communication. No, ma'am, we are not about to do that. How can a child set the tone for you not communicating with them? You are the example. Did you just grow your son or did you raise your son? He was never raised. Ma'am, you should be ashamed of yourself. You really should, honey. I know parenting ain't got no rule book, honey, but the basics are I love you and good night or you want something to eat. I mean, come on now. Now, maybe it could be something with her family lineage and she never heard I love you growing up. So sometimes it's hard to break. Old habits die hard and you passed it down to your kids. But ma'am, what is going on? So Brandon is like, well, she's saying that I didn't say I love you and I didn't say anything back to her. And I would never want my mom to feel like I'm shutting her out. You were a kid, Brandon, a kid. That's like me expecting my son to set the precedent when it comes to how we communicate. Well, he ain't talking to me this morning, so I ain't talking to him. He's 8. Child, this is crazy. Moving forward. So the therapist asked what they wanted from the session. She said, well, I do want to have conversations with him sometimes. Sometimes. Okay, so Brandon, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. Let's continue therapy, even without mom, so you can get stronger, because you may have to come to the realization that your mom just isn't the type of mom that you need or you want. Okay, you can still love her, but what you're looking for from her, you may never get, especially at this age. She's set in her ways, and I don't think she's really open to change. And you probably are just going to have to come to terms with that, as sad as it is. And that was the end of the episode. Child, this episode right here was something else. I don't know how many more episodes they got. I think maybe 1. Oh, mama, that cake looked good, girl. It looked like it was made with love. You see how you made that cake with love? Tell your son you love him, honey. Just tell him. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.